Once upon a time, there lived a poor goatherd. Every day, to seek fresh grazing, he took his goats to a hill overlooking the village where he lived with his family. He was deaf, but this did not matter to him at all. The goatherd, though deaf, had a deep connection with his goats and the natural world around him. Each morning as the sun peeked over the horizon, the goatherd would set out with his goats, climbing the winding path to the hill. The hill was lush with green grass, wildflowers, and the occasional shrub, providing the perfect grazing spot for his herd. From the top of the hill, he could see the entire village below, the thatched roofs, the smoke rising from chimneys, and the distant fields where his neighbors toiled. Despite his inability to hear the sounds of the village, the laughter of children, the chatter of women at the well, or the clanging of the blacksmith's hammer, the goatherd felt a profound sense of peace. He found joy in the silence, in the rustling of the wind through the grass, and in the gentle bleating of his goats. The villagers, though aware of his deafness, respected and admired the goatherd for his hard work and dedication. Sometimes, the children would climb the hill to visit him, bringing him small gifts, a piece of bread, a handful of berries, or a freshly picked flower. They would try to communicate with him using simple gestures, and he would respond with a nod or a pat on the head. One day, as the goatherd was tending to his goats, he noticed something unusual. A small injured bird lay on the ground, its wing bent at an awkward angle. The goatherd gently picked up the bird and cradled it in his hands. He carried the bird back to his rock and fashioned a small nest out of grass and leaves. He placed the bird in the nest and gave it some water from his flask. Over the next few days, the goatherd cared for the bird, feeding it bits of bread and keeping it warm. Slowly, the bird's wing healed and it began to flutter about. One morning, as the sun rose, the bird took flight, soaring high into the sky. The goatherd watched it go, a smile spreading across his face. He felt a deep sense of fulfillment, knowing he had made a difference, even in the smallest of ways. From that day on, the goatherd continued his daily routine, but with an even greater appreciation for the beauty and resilience of life. He knew that, though he could not hear the world around him, he could still feel its heartbeat, and that was enough. And so the goatherd lived a simple, contented life, surrounded by his goats, the hills, and the silent symphony of nature.